Toronto railway line.
We're bringing you his story today using the name Tamer al-Nouri. We've revoiced his words as well as changing his name to protect his identity. He's been talking to our security correspondent Frank Gardner, who asked him about his most frightening moment.
I am hoping it is past. Being in a foreign place and knowing that backup was nowhere near me and having my identity questioned.
Are you able to say where that was?
I'm not. It was a foreign country in the Middle East. That's probably all I can give you.
Why do you think so many young people are attracted to the cause of violent jihadism, and how can this be changed?
The fact that these jihadists, these radicals that are popping up, are lost souls. They don't conform to society, they don't conform to a family, and they latch onto a hatred and an evil that seems to give them purpose. That's my number one red flag, or terrorism indicator. He is an individual who shies away from the mosques or shies away from his family. He is becoming a loner of some sort.
What do you think is the secret to an undercover agent like yourself having a really convincing cover story?
None of my legends, none of my cover stories have ever really drifted far from reality. I mean that every single legend I have ever used has been as close to my true self as possible. When you are traveling the world with an ideological, extremist individual, and you are spending days, weeks alone with them, your true colors eventually come out when you get exhausted. So if your legend is essentially who you are, with only the important facts twisted and turned, that is a recipe for success.
You are a US citizen and also a devout Muslim, yet many of the people who are plotting against the US around the world also see themselves as devout Muslims. What would you say to those who would call you a traitor to your religion?
If the ones calling me a traitor to my religion are these radicals, I will wear it as a badge of honor. The ironic thing is these traitors, these radicals, are the ones who are desecrating my religion. I am proud to be a patriot. I am proud to be an American Muslim fighting the global war on terror, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what politicians refer to them as. Those are just labels. I am a Muslim and I am an American, and I'm appalled at what these animals are doing to my country while desecrating my religion. So if they're calling me that, then I won.
What is it like to pretend to befriend somebody who is planning a mass atrocity?
That is the hardest part. My job is to put my arms around a bad guy, and of course, all these atrocities that we are planning are sickening to me. The only way I can be good at my job and have it believable is I try to latch on to whatever part is human, whether he is a scientist, curing infectious diseases, or how well he speaks to his mother, how well he financially takes care of his siblings. Something in that individual that is human, that I can latch onto, is what I hold on to the most while I'm working.
You've made it very clear in your book that you think that inclusion is the secret of success in fighting violent jihad, and yet your president is banning people from several Muslim-majority countries coming to the United States, or trying to. Do you think that the policies and pronouncements of President Trump are making America more of a target?
The bottom line is this. When I'm in a basement filled with terrorists, or I'm overseas in the Middle East meeting with Al-Qaeda senior leadership, the White House is a very far place from me. The mission, law enforcement, and the intelligence community will always be the same regardless of who's in charge, and that is to stop terrorism dead in its tracks.
The man we're calling Tamer al-Nouri, talking to our security correspondent Frank Gardner. More of that later in Newsday.
Coming up to 20 minutes past